friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jamie and this is my channel Stitching with Wishing. This thing is not going to stay in my head. I had it on a clip yesterday and it didn't stick. So yeah, I'll show you. This is back in September I participated in the Lindy Stitches virtual retreat, which was her fall something or other, and I took a class from Lois Lady Dots Creates, and this is what we created. It was a little witch's hat pin cushion with some little bats on top. So cute. So that was really fun, and I was putting it on in a clip so that I could be worn as a fascinator, and clearly that didn't work out. But anyway, welcome back. It has been a while since my last video because all I can say is life has been lifing. There's been a lot going on in my life. I've been very busy with work and busy with some other stuff, and there just hasn't been a free moment to film a video. And I also don't feel like I have been stitching very much. I have a good pile for today, so it's a good time to film, but honestly it feels like I get, maybe a couple stitches in the evening, and some evenings I don't get any, and it's just part of it. I kind of feel like I hit a slump for a while where I wasn't really into stitching. I think there was just too much going on, but I'm getting my stitchy bug back, and so now's a good time to kind of catch up and reset. I'm in a different corner of my room today. This is my office slash craft room slash spare bedroom. It's a mess in here, and instead of filming I really should be cleaning up, but who wants to do that? We decided, so on the other side of this wall is my guest bathroom, which when my elderly mother moved in with me, it became her bathroom, and she had been having problems turning the shower faucet on. She was really struggling with the mechanism in there, and so we decided that we would go ahead and get that replaced. In order to get it replaced, they had to tear a big hole in this wall. So this shelf next to me is new. I had a much bigger shelf in here. It was really too big for this room, and when we were told that I was gonna have to punch a hole in they were gonna have to punch a hole in the wall, it seemed like a good time to kind of clear that shelf off, get rid of it, get something smaller and a little more manageable, and so that's what I've done. I don't know if you can tell from this video, things aren't exactly in place because we painted this wall and the paint doesn't match the rest of the room. Even though it was color matched, it's a lighter gray color. There's some weird stuff going on anyway because of my lighting, but it didn't really match, so I've kind of got things not quite put in place so that I can get the right color paint and match it up and make it look a little better. And then this shelf will be moved into its proper place, and I can put stuff back up on the walls and all the good stuff. I did decide that since I was taking everything, which is primarily my stitching stuff, off, that I was going to organize it when I'm putting it back on, and so that's what these are, is the start of that organization. These are my whips. They cover 2 shelves because I have a lot of whips. But I'm making sure that all of them, before they go on the shelf, are in my spreadsheet, and I can just kind of track things a little better. And I had intended to go through and, decide if there was some things that I wanted to UFO, and so far there's not. I did get rid of a stack of charts. Well, they've gone into my freebie pile that I'll take to a retreat somewhere to get rid of and find a new home for. but things that I don't think that I will ever get around to stitching kind of had to go. Anyway, that's a big part of what I've been up to. So my last video, I think, was, gosh, the 1st of August. So I've been doing a lot. I've made a couple little trips. I spent 1 week in Florida in about mid-August where I didn't get any stitching done. I went down with a couple of friends. We did a working trip. This is really the second or third one of these that we've done where we are all able and lucky enough to be able to work remotely. Well, they both work remotely full-time. I am in the office a few times, but I got some permission from my manager to be able to work remote that week. And we went down and rented a house on the beach where we could look for sea turtles, and we found a bunch. It's outside of the Archie Carr National Wildlife Refuge in kind of central Florida on the East Coast, and there are, I don't know what their final counts were for this season, but there's like 100,000 sea turtles that come there to nest. And we kind of timed it out where we got to see 2 hatchies. The first was at 4 in the morning, so it was dark, but we had a red light and we were able to see the babies, and it was amazing. And then the second one, we went down to the beach about 6:30 after dinner, and it was literally, our house had some stairs down onto the beach, and I saw him from the stairs. I saw one of the babies, and I was like, there's a baby there. We all ran over, and then we walked up the beach, and we actually saw a boil and saw a hatch, and it was spectacular, and it's all I've ever wanted, was to be able to see that, and so to experience it was amazing. And then every morning we'd go down and there'd be tracks in the sand where the mothers were coming up to lay new nests, and we saw a couple of those, the bigger mothers coming up, and we watched a couple lay their nests, and it was just, it's wonderful. It's a wonderful place. There were also, it's where we were staying is viewing distance to Cape Canaveral, and we saw a couple of different rocket launches, which was fun. The only complaint I had, well, I mean, it was hot, but it's Florida in the summertime, so you expected it to be hot, were the bugs. The beach was covered with no-see-ums, so I got some terrible bites on my arms and legs, even with bug spray. But seeing the turtles was worth it, and you know, eventually they stop itching and heal up. But that was a big one. September I did 1 weekend away with one of the same group of friends. My friend had rented a I don't know what you call it, a suite in a wildlife park in central Georgia, and she had rented out the giraffe suite for an overnight stay, and so we were able to stay. There were big windows that overlooked the giraffe enclosure, and so we watched the giraffes all night while we were in this place. And then the next day they took us on a tour of the property, so we got to see all their other animals, but that was also spectacular, and my friend wouldn't take money for it, so it was even more spectacular because it didn't cost me anything except I bought her dinner. So it was fabulous. Those are the fun things that I've been doing, and then there's been just some things at home that haven't been as fun. Sorry, all 3 of the dogs are in here again. They don't seem to be snoring as loud today, but now Barley decided she needed to drink water. The dogs are doing good. I think in my last video I told you that Charlie, my boy dog, was gonna have surgery. He needed a CCL repair, This is the second time. His second CCL is basically the equivalent to an ACL in humans. So it's kind of the hip bone in dogs, and he had torn his and it needed to be repaired. The vet told me they only have 2 hips, so this will be the last surgery he needs. And he recovered really well from that. He's walking good. He's still in a little bit of restriction, but he's also not very active these days, and so it's fine. And for the most part, he's back to walking normal, and everything's fine, except I'm not gonna cry today. A couple weeks ago, I noticed that he kind of was having a hard time eating. Chewing food kind of seemed like it was hard, and that he was hurting, and he wasn't eating and wasn't really into getting treats as much. And so we took him back to the vet. The vet thought that it was his teeth and that his gums were inflamed, and so we scheduled a cleaning, and he went in late last week to have that cleaning done. And unfortunately, the vet found a big tumor in the back of his throat. So it's fast growing because it wasn't there when he had his CCL surgery in August, but it's big enough now that it was a problem. The vet was able to remove about 40% of it, but he couldn't get it all out because of where it was. So right now we're waiting on biopsy results to kind of determine where we need to go from here. But in the past few days since he's been home, he's been doing really good, eating and active. And last night he knocked the trash can over, so he's back to some of his mischievous activities. But we're just kind of playing it by ear and seeing where it goes from there. But it makes me incredibly sad to think about, but like I said, we're just gonna do it one day by day, and he's my pup. So that seemed like a lot. I've been talking for like 10 minutes about just randomness. You're here for my stitching, and so I'm gonna show you some things. I do have some finishes. Didn't feel like a whole lot for it being 2 or 3 months, but I don't know. A finish is a finish, so I'm going to show you those. A few whips. I've really been kind of working on some of the same things and just pulling whatever intrigues me for the day or the week. No real rhyme or reason to anything, and I think that's totally okay and acceptable at this point. And so that's what we've been doing. Let's just get into it. In my last video, I told you about my guild. It's the Sampler Guild of Georgia. We meet once a month and they have some different activities. But they've been doing a lot of challenges this year, and I have really enjoyed the challenge projects. I don't know, there's something about these little challenges that really appeal to me and make me want to stitch something. And so in August, the challenge was to stitch something fall themed and finish it in a 3 or 4 inch hoop that they gave us. And this is what I stitched. So this is a pattern from Sweet Wing Studio that I altered quite a bit. I think it's called Happy Fall, You All. But I stitched it on a 36 count cream and sugar, finished in a 3 inch hoop. Again, I modified the pattern quite a bit to make it fit. And then I stained the hoop, added a bow and a pin, and then you can see this beaded hanger, which I love, and it makes me want to buy more beads to hang things up. But I think it turned out really cute, and I met that challenge for the guild. In September, our challenge was to stitch a 3-inch circular pattern of some sort. They gave us a freebie from Hands On Design, and it was to stitch it, and then we had a finishing class. So they gave us all the supplies to finish a little round ornament. So here's the pattern. This is a freebie from Hands On Design. It's Do What You Love stitch. I stitched it on a 32 count. 32 count made it roughly 3 inches, so it's the perfect size for the finishing. I just used thread from Stash, and then they gave us some cardboard circles and some finishing fabric for the back, and then the cording to finish it. And we had a little class during one of the meetings to finish little ornaments, and I think it turned out also very cute. Let's see, our October meeting, we presented our journey pieces. So journey is you stitch something of your choice that has to be 6 inches. You have about a year to finish whatever you commit to, and then at our meeting in October you present that to everybody, and there were some beautiful things. My journey piece was Matter in Hand by Jeanette Douglas that I had finished in a ruler box. I've showed that in previous videos, so I didn't pull it out for today, but it is on my Instagram, which is at Stitching and Wishing, and in some of my past videos I've shown that. More finishes. So next week, well, actually starting tomorrow, I actually get a good stitching week this week. Tomorrow is Saturday, November 1st, and it is our guild's annual stitch-in. It's open to anybody, so if you're in driving distance to North Atlanta, come. But it's held in a community center. They're gonna have a kind of a potluck lunch, and there's gonna be a few vendors there, and it's just a stitching day. This will be my 3rd or 4th year going to it, and I really enjoy it. It's a fun day. I have to be there bright and early on a Saturday because I volunteered to help set up, but they're gonna have some vendors and we'll just stitch all day and it'll be a good time. And then next Wednesday, I am leaving and going to a retreat. I'm going to the Stitching in the Smokies retreat in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It's hosted by Thread the Needle Stitchery. I think that's right. And I think she's in I think their LNS opened up in Greenville, Tennessee. Don't quote me on that. If you really need to know, message me and I will get you the correct information. But they're hosting a retreat. It'll be Thursday through Saturday night. So my friend Sherry and I are going to load up on Wednesday and head up to Gatlinburg. It's about a 4 to 5 hour drive from here, and should be a good time. Our retreats are always fun, and I need a break. So this is like, it feels like bad timing because I don't feel like I should be leaving the house, but at the same time I really think I need the break, and so this is good timing and I'm gonna go. So when I get to my plans, I'll tell you a little bit about what I'm planning to take to that retreat and work on. My goal is to not overpack. I know that taking more than one project is technically overpacking because I'm not going to finish one thing at a retreat, but usually I end up taking like 10 things and that's way too much. So my goal is to cut it down. Plus, Suzanne from Sweet Wing Studio is the guest designer, and I think she's going to have an exclusive pattern for us. And if that's the case, I'm hoping that I'm able to get that up and work on that over the weekend. But I say all that because for the retreat, there's also a smalls exchange. And so for the smalls exchange, I stitched up this kit from Summer House Stitch Works. This is Bittersweet Sentiments 2024. And she just released her 2025, which is a really pretty Biscornu. I did not check. I did buy one yesterday when they went on sale. I have not checked her website to see if she has any more in stock, but go check out Summer House Stitch Works if you're interested in that. I don't think she has any more of these kits available, and I don't know if and when she's going to release this pattern. But I had purchased the kit, and this is my finish. So the top and the bottom are stitched. This is 32 count chestnut from Weeks Dye Works. We're using some Weeks Dye Works thread. They all come in the kit. Her kits are full kits, so you get the fabric, the finishing supplies, including the wool roving for inside. Yeah, she gives you everything. And then this is a ribbon. So you just stitch these parts, and then this is a ribbon that you attach to the pillow. And then the back is just this pretty soft flannel. It's got some dog hair on it. And then I didn't do a very good job, but there's a little heart with a little, I put the little charm down here attached with this pretty ribbon, which was also included in the kit. So that's my finish and my smalls exchange for the retreat next week. Where to put anything. Oh, here's my, when we presented our journey projects last week, we they usually give you something like a little reward, and we ended up getting these little tins, and inside are these stickers for information about your stitching. And they give you a good, I don't know what's in here, 10 or probably like 10 of those little stickers. So cute little just reward for finishing your journey commitment. This next finish was gonna be another exchange piece. Some of my friends group is doing a Christmas ornament exchange, but I felt like this was too big for a Christmas ornament, and so I'm just gonna keep it, and I picked a different pattern and I'm stitching it up for my exchange piece. But this is a little stocking from Jean Farish. I can't remember what the name of the pattern is, and I didn't pull it, but this is the stocking. Again, if you need to know, I'll try to put it in the notes below what the pattern is for this, but I think it's beautiful, and it will be a really pretty little something. It's shaped like a stocking. So what confused me about it was I had purchased these from Jean Farish. They are pre-cut cardboard shapes as a stocking, and so I stitched this on a 30 count legacy linen, which is what it said that the model was stitched on, but it's too big for this stocking. I don't know if you can see that. Like, it kind of fits. I don't know. It just felt really awkward to me, so I decided to go with something else for my ornament exchange. I may try finishing this on one of these just to see if I can make it work, but it feels too big. So I would say if you're going to stitch one of Jean's patterns on this, you measure it out and maybe use a 32 or even a 36 count, because I feel like 30 count is too big. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. It just felt wrong. And so I've started something else for my exchange piece, which I have been actively working on, but I'm not going to show it to you in this video because some of the people in that friends group do watch my videos, and I want the exchange to be a surprise because we don't know who got whose name, and so it's a surprise when we get it, and I want it to be a surprise for my friend. A big finish I had in August. So this was my kind of after I think I filmed my last video, I was like, I'm gonna get this project done. And it took a while, but I think it was early September that I finished this. And what this is the floral motif sampler. This is from the Scarlet House. I stitched mine on 36 count mystery linen. I don't know what this is. And I used the Vicky Clayton silks. And I substituted in a few additional silks, like this orange and this big flower is not part of the Vicky Clayton conversion. It's another silk. I think it's a Bestitch Me silk that I had in my stash that I added in. But in my last video, I had kind of, it's hard to hold this and show you. I had kind of the whole corner down here. Yeah, kind of everything here I stitched in August into September. But she's done now. And I need to go shopping and get a frame. My friend Sherry has offered to frame it for me, but I need to buy the frame. And I just haven't had a chance to go shopping and find a frame. So it's on my list. As soon as I get some free time, I will be finding a frame, and then I'll let Sherry frame it for me, and we'll put it up on a wall. Maybe not in here, maybe out in the family room. So those are my finishes. A good amount. Now, whips. So I've been working on kind of a variety of things over the last, I don't know, couple of weeks, maybe the month. So I pulled those to show you. My active project that I'm worked on last night and this morning was this mill hill. This is called Squirrely. It's a little mill hill kit. And this is, I have it upside down. There you go. There's his head. So I get a good bit of the stitching done. I really don't have that much stitching, and then all these blank spaces up here will be beads that I'll need to go back and put in. This little frame I got at Keepsakes when I was up there in June. Here's what, this is the back side of my stitching, so don't judge, but it felt easier to stitch having my stitching on the back. Plus you get magnets that will act as little needle minders, but I really like this. I wish I had picked up one or two more even of these little frames. I don't know why I need multiple, but it feels like I need more than one. But it'll just hold your perforated paper so that it doesn't get wet or oily from your hands. And so it's a great little purchase. I highly recommend. I think they're made in Ukraine, but there are some US sellers like Keepsakes that, I don't know, call them to see if they have them anymore in stock, I guess. You can order them direct from the maker in Ukraine, but I think it would take a while to get to the States at least. Other whips. So this past weekend, something made me decide I wanted to start stitching Christmas, and this pattern has been really calling to me. This is Isabella Keene from My Sister Sampler. It's not necessarily a Christmas sampler, except the wording is Hark the Herald Angels Sing, which to me is a Christmas carol. But I think it's beautiful. It's charted in Vicky Clayton silks, and that's what I am using. It is in my Q-Stab. Let me pull this part off. It is in my Q-snap because was actively working on it, but I don't know, will that pick up the colors? You see how pink and that green just kind of shimmers? I think it's really pretty. And I've worked down the side. I'm not quite to the bottom corner yet. This is 40 count baklava from Grace Notes Fabrics. It's a 40 count Verdal, so it's an even weave, which is, I think, my favorite fabric ever. And then the Vicky Clayton silks on it look beautiful, especially in the sunlight. They kind of sparkle and shimmer, and but I want to keep working on this. This one's definitely going to retreat with me next week. I don't have any plans that I will get it done even in the next year, but I would like to make some progress on it. Maybe like at least get a page finished, which is what I'm working on right now. So a page, this chart is 16 pages, and a page is basically like this corner here. So if I could get that much done, a page, 1 out of 16 pages, feels like it would be good. Okay, next up is my monthly stitch. This is Months 2025 from Patini. I started this in July after I finished the Primrose Cottage monthly minis. My plan was to stitch these all on one piece using the same framing that they have in their model, but I made a mistake. So let me show you. This is my stitch. So you can see I finished July, August, September, and October. But I started, I don't know why I didn't notice this. I didn't notice until September. I had counted down so that January could go in this upper left corner. And for some reason, I put July where April should be. So there was no way without frogging it or restarting it that I could make that work. But my fabric is plenty wide enough that I can do 6 across. So I'm just going to continue working across till December and just have 6 across, and then go up to this block that I started in January. So this is going with me to the stitch-in tomorrow, and they stitch up pretty fast, so I should make pretty good progress getting, what is it, November in. And November is the squirrel. That's cute. I'm gonna like stitching the squirrel, and that'll stitch up fast. But luckily I don't cut my fabric. I try not to, and so I have a ton of fabric down below, and luckily enough fabric wide, because I just have November and December, so I've got plenty of, but it'll be interesting to try to finish or frame it, but we'll figure something out, or it'll sit in my done box for who knows how long. That's terrible, but it's the reality of being a stitcher. Next up, I started this after I received it, I don't know, either in August or September. I was thinking it was going to be my Smalls Exchange gift at the retreat I'm going to next week, but I changed my mind. What I'm talking about is Live Gently from Heart and Hand. This was a silver needle club piece. So I'm in the circle of friends from the silver needle, and you get a kit quarterly. So I'm using all the kit. This is 32 count flax and the called for threads. And this is where I got to it before I put it down. I don't know when I'm going to pick it back up again. It's not an active whip, and I don't know when I'll work on it again. But I love it, and I will finish it at some point. This was a piece I bought at StitchCon. I bought specifically so that I could use some of my friend Pam's floss. She is Otter Creek Floss on Etsy, and she does cotton floss in 10-yard skeins, and it's fabulous floss. I highly recommend you go get it. But I bought this pattern. It is from Running with, I always get it wrong, Running with Needle and Scissors. It is called the Lost French Red. I call it my snail sampler because of the little snails on it. But I wanted something monochromatic, and this fit the bill when I was at StitchCon. And I just have a small start on it. So here's the start. This is 40 count Ivy from Fiber on a Whim. I read all this. Yeah, Fiber on a Whim Ivy. And this is the floss from Otter Creek that I'm using. She calls it Smilex. I don't know what that means. She gives all her floss really unique names. But she's got some beautiful floss, and the green is stitching up really pretty on this fabric. It reminds me of St. Patrick's Day, so that might be why I haven't made very much progress on it. But I do love it, and I do want to get back to it. My next StitchCon project, StitchCon related project, was a sal that I started with some of my friends that we picked up at StitchCon. Levi, who is Oh Stitch Happens on Flosstube, Pam, who is Wilson 3D Design, and my friend Teresa, who is the Patriotic Stitcher on Instagram, but she doesn't do Flosstube, even though I'm trying to talk her into it. But the pattern is Fetish number 1, the Parrots from Lottie Da. They had the model at StitchCon, and I really, really liked it and convinced everybody they should stitch it with me. And here is my progress. So I have finished all the letters and have moved down into these flowers, and then I have the parrots and this motif to stitch. So not very much more. This should be a pretty finish fairly soon. The goal was to get it done before StitchCon next year so we could all bring them and share them with each other, and so that should be doable. But I really like it. I'm using some of Pam's Otter Creek floss. This brown is a Pirate Robin, and then I think these blues and some of these other colors are Color and Cotton. So I've just been pulling threads off my wall when I need a color change. So I kind of feel like that green might be a little too bright, but I'm going with it. So we'll see how it turns out. Sampler September. So in September is Sampler September, and I really wanted a project. My initial thoughts were I wanted it to be kind of like a blessing sampler. Last few years I've been able to stitch a complete sampler in January, and so I was like, Sampler September should be the same way. I should be able to finish something. Spoiler, I didn't. But my focus piece for Sampler September was Constant Companion from Erica Michaels, and I'm stitching the small one. There's a slightly better picture here. It says, no one can look upon the needle without emotion. It is a constant companion throughout the pilgrimage of life. And I love it. I think it's beautiful. So this is my start and where I got to on it. So I got the green border outlined. I started this right around the 1st of September. So I did get the border outlined and started to add in some flowers. I am just using floss from Stash, so I just pulled some colors that were sort of equivalent to the called for. I think mine are, they feel like this picture makes it look very orange, and mine is more red and pink, but I love it. Those flowers remind me of Dr. Seuss flowers, and I think it's beautiful. So I fully intend to come back and stitch on this some more. This fabric is 36 count needle and flax Hemingway, and then floss from Stash. So that was my sampler September, and that is all my whips. So it didn't seem like a lot, but I've made decent progress on things, and I am satisfied with that. I have a little bit of haul here. So I honestly don't feel like I didn't feel like I was buying a lot, but then when I started to kind of pull some things together, I bought enough. Let's just say that. I am trying really hard to cut down on some of my purchasing. I have a lot. I have a lot of whips. I have a lot of floss. I have a lot of patterns, and I love them all. And so I really would like to get back to them. But I have purchased a few things, and so let's show you what. So I did buy some patterns from Needle Place Marketplace. That was back in August. Only a few. I think I ended up buying 4 in total, but I don't have any of those to show with you, so you'll have to see them when I actually stitch them. And I had forgot I had ordered these until they showed up in my mailbox last week. This is the Chaos Collection from Cottage Garden Thread. Aren't they cool? They're gonna be so pretty stitched up. I don't know what I'm gonna use them for. There's a few more. And I did not realize that so many came in this. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 skeins of floss. They're really pretty. So it'll be interesting to try to find something to use those on, but they will go in my stash and be used for something. Let's save this for a sec. I purchased the Hands Across the Sea calendar for next year. It's lovely. I'm not gonna go through it. No, I'm not, because I don't know if she's shown it yet. But it did come with a blessing sampler. It was a PDF little red sampler, and so it is going to be my blessing sampler come January. I also ordered a few charts that were from Hands Across the Sea that were exclusive, I believe, to Hobby House. This is Suzanne de la Carte. Just a pretty little red sampler. Mary Fitzgibbon. I wanted this because Audrey Stitch Bead, I think she finished it. She was at least working on it, and I was like, what is this chart? And so of course I had to go find it and have it for myself. And then I got Fannie Louise Parker as well, which I think was really cute. I ordered a Caterpillar cross stitch chart. So Caterpillar cross stitch comes from the UK. They do, I think it's a bi-monthly club. I joined for 1 month just so I could get this pattern, and I've already canceled, so I won't be getting another one anytime soon. But The pattern that was in this kit is Let It Snow from Stitchrovia. And I think this is the second or third Stitchrovia Christmas pattern that Caterpillar's offered like this. And I stitched and finished one, and I believe I have the second one in my stash somewhere. And then, so this is the newest one. So it's everything. It's the chart. Caterpillar Cross Stitch does the DMC on a card. There's some Ada in here, which I will switch out for something else. And then you also get some pretty little beads. Should make a cute hanger for that. Lolly, which I don't know why I haven't eaten yet, and a needle minder. Caterpillar Cross Stitch does good needle minders, so highly recommend the kits. I don't think you can still get this. I'm pretty sure that it was you have to buy by a certain date, but join their mailing list if you're interested in one of their future releases. What else is in here? So in my previous video, I showed you a finish of on a little salt cellar, a little blackbird piece. That was for an exchange with my guild, and this is what I got in exchange. It's a little magnetic wand, a lens cleaner, and a unstitcher, which is a nice little tool. So the exchange was either a stitched piece or stitching tools, and I got stitching tools, which is fine. They also had a celebration for World Cross Stitch Day, which is what that exchange was part of. And we got a little bag of goodies, including these little rulers. That needle binder is strong. Rulers, thread drops, and needle binder. My friend Sherry traded me because it matches my tattoo. Okay, next pieces in here are for Jingle Ball. So I am going to participate in the Jingle Ball that's hosted by Lindy Stitches. This is the third or fourth year. I think this is the third year, and I've participated in every year. I decided to sign up for, did I do 3 classes or 4 classes? I have the stuff for 2 of the classes, but I think I did because I signed up for the Primrose class, which I have the stuff for. It's just in the other room. It is a cute little project bag where one of those mesh project bags where you stitch on the front of the bag. And then I did both the Stacy Nash classes, and I ordered the kit for the gingerbread man. So it's a full kit. You get the linen, the finishing fabric, and then there is a dropper with thread in here as well. And an animal cracker. She did an animal cracker, which I did the PDF for. I don't think I have it saved on here. No, but go check out Jingle Ball. It's jingleball.net, excuse me, or lindystitches.com. And you can still sign up for the PDF classes. I don't know if the kits are all sold out yet, but the PDF classes you can sign up for until the day of the event, I think. So I'm doing the 2 Stacy Nash classes, and then I'm doing the perforated poinsettia class from Hands On Design. And I did order the kit for this. And so you got the perforated paper and then some other little goodies. She did not include floss because it's charted in DMC, but I did a conversion to color and cotton from my stash. So I think it's a pretty good conversion to the called for, and to use some stash floss. So I'm doing that one, the Primrose one, and then the 2 Stacy Nash. So I'm doing 4 classes at Jingle Ball. Yeah. So that's it. So that's my plans. So at retreat next week, I am going to take this, the perforated poinsettia stitching, my little Mill Hill squirrel, Isabella Keene, and I feel like there was one more I was gonna take. I don't know. I know I don't remember what I was gonna pack, but I'm gonna at least pack those 4, and then hopefully if we get an exclusive pattern, I can work on that. My other plans are in November is my anniversary on the 11th. And I decided that on my anniversary, I am going to start a marriage sampler. Sorry, I should have marked this out. I think it's just on a page, so I can show you. Yes. So it comes from this book, which is Sampler Antique, it's in needlework. I don't know what the date on this. It's published by Just Cross Stitch. I think I got this on one of those like half-price book sites. So it's available on the secondary market, but it's got some beautiful things in here. But here is the marriage sampler that I am going to start on the 11th. It is designed by somebody I didn't know. Angela Poulin is the designer, and I think it's really pretty. So it's charted in DMC, and it does have, there are some specialty stitches in it, like these down here are queen stitches, and I think there may be some eyelets or something else in it. I pulled out of my stash, this is Fox and Rabbit 40 count sandstone. And instead of using DMC, I did a Vicki Clayton conversion, and my threads came yesterday. Let me see if I can hold these all up. So it's these, and then there's a couple on spools. This is my conversion for the marriage sampler on this fabric. I think it's going to be really pretty with those silks. And I decided that this marriage sampler is going to be my journey piece for next year. So I'm going to start it on my anniversary this year, the 11th, and then I should have it done by next October is the goal. Next November will be my 20-year wedding anniversary. So it seems appropriate to kind of focus on a marriage sampler for kind of, I'm calling it a milestone anniversary. 20 years is, I know it's not as special as some people who have been married for 30 or 40 years, but 20 years is good, you know, and for the most part it has been very good. Of course, we're like anybody, and we have, we don't always get along, and we have had some issues, but I wouldn't change anything. I like being married to my husband, and we'll celebrate 20 years next year. I don't know, I kind of feel like it's an excuse for a good trip, but it's hard to plan trips. I've got the dogs to think about, and I also take care of my mother, who it's getting very hard to take her. I don't think I can leave her alone anymore, and so I will have to get help if we decide to go on a vacation. We do have one trip planned next next year because my nephew is graduating, and so Mom will be going with us, and we'll get a dog sitter in here for the pups. But yeah, 20 years seems like we should take a trip, but I don't know what we'll do. That's to be determined. Yeah, Mom's been tough. Last week I came home from work one day, and she was laying at the bottom of the stairs, for lack of a better word. She was kind of propped up on the bottom stair. She had fallen down the stairs and could not get up. So I don't, she said she had been there half an hour before I got home, but who knows how long she actually laid there. Luckily, right after I came in, Scott came in, so we were able to get her up on her feet. She seemed fine. She had a cut on her arm, but she couldn't tell me if she had hit her head. Like, it didn't seem like she had hit her head, but she made the comment, well, I think I blacked out. And so to me, that was, okay, we need to go get you checked out. So I took her over to the local urgent care. We spent about an hour there, and then they told us, no, you need to go to the ER and get a full whatever, CT scan or whatever it is that they do there. So we went to the ER and were there for several hours while they did the scans and the tests. And she has a broken collarbone, which we went to an orthopedist as a follow-up appointment this week, and he said it'll just kind of heal on her own. She has to wear a sling, and which she struggles with because she struggles with her balance, so not having that extra arm kind of makes it hard for her to walk. So it's a little bit of a challenge, but we kind of set some ground rules that she won't be going down the stairs when we're not home, which is unfortunate because I'd kind of been forcing her to traverse the stairs. I was making her do her own laundry. Our laundry room is downstairs, and I was keeping like some of her drinks and larger grocery items in our fridge out in the garage, just to kind of force her to move and to get up and to get some exercise. She'd have to go retrieve those items on her own, but you know, she's at the point where we can't let her do that on her own anymore, so I'll just be doing her laundry and bringing all her groceries up. It's not really that big of a deal. And then if she needs to go downstairs, like to go to a doctor's appointment or something, then I'll be here to kind of help her along. I know a lot of people have been like, well, you should get one of those medical fall alerts, and she had one. She just won't wear it. So I canceled it because I got tired of paying the monthly fee for it with her refusing to wear it. But we just adjust. I mean, there's not a lot you can do. You need to take care of your aging parents, and so that's what we do. We figure it out and we adjust when needed. So yeah, I've been blathering for an hour. I need to get a drink. My mouth is kind of dry and clean things up and get ready for my stitch day tomorrow. Should be a good time. But I hope that you are all well. I'm glad I was able to sit down and kind of catch up with Flosstubes. I felt like earlier this year I'd been doing a decent job of kind of keeping up every couple of months, and then I fell off. But I have plans, kind of rough plans for the rest of the year. I'm definitely in the mood to stitch some Christmas, so Jingle Ball stitching is at a perfect time, and hopefully I'll get those done in time for the classes and can finish those. So I don't know when I'll be back. Hopefully sometime in December. I'd like to make plans, and so I like doing a plans video and maybe a recap video of everything that I've done. I did, on my last count of my spreadsheet, I think I've had 30 finishes for the year. Granted, most of them are tiny finishes, but a finish is a finish, and we love that. So that's what I got. I hope if you're celebrating Halloween that you go out and have a good time tonight. we will not really be celebrating. So for the last couple of years, I've kind of kept the lights off because I don't want the dogs riled up, and you know, candy's expensive and we don't get that many kids in our neighborhood anyway, so it's better just to keep the lights off and not really worry about it too much. But if you're going out, I hope you have fun, and I will talk to you when I see you next. In the meantime, my name is Jamie, and if you would like to check out my Instagram, Stitching and Wishing, I post all my finishes and some other activities that I do, including like the trip to see the turtles. I've got some good turtle videos and stuff on my Instagram, as well as the giraffes, if you want to check those out. So I'll see you next time. Happy stitching, everyone.